Welcome back, guys, to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, where we are in court, of course, with the new case having started. The trial now starts with Miss Starr giving us a description of the case. Let us defend Lana Skye. Just who is this lady? She's the cough-up queen. If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into two blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the two blocks.
I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutors' spaces, yes?
The crime took place by a car in the back of A block in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Someone else's car? Yeah, do you have keys? Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honor. As now we have the parking lot floor plans added to the court record.
Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright?
I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr.
Wait, are they talking about me? Well, everyone always seems to be against me, don't they? Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. How did you know that? Okay, that's a good question. How did you know that? I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend, the many of them, when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work. Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching.
As you can see, there is no room for doubt.
The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
And so the witness's account begins. Is that like a sausage, a frankfurter, split up in an octopus fashion for a lunchbox on her neck as a choker? That is a bit weird. Somehow I always knew a day like this would come, did you? Why? How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime. Yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence of their whim, killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired. To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr.
I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend, the many of them. This boyfriend, he's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard.
That boyfriend? You have several?
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
I'll stick with the lunches, thanks.
Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work, was it now? You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like... how would you say? Oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
What? I have no idea what that means.
Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese.
A young cheese?
A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn.
Then I must be hard-yellowed and sharp as a tack.
Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match. In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind.
What did you feel?
Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. This could only be bad for Edgeworth. By garish car, you mean... Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth's?
Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it?
Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant?
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I'm certain it was her. If she's telling the truth,
We're doomed.
let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick. Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms.
Ergo, you are a biased witness.
You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me?
I'll fry you like a fritter. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. Armadillos! That was inspiring.
I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? Yes, you probably could. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
A photograph! You took this?
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap! I took a picture! In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. Really? I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging around your neck.
Witness, why am I only seeing this photograph just now?
You think I'd show it to you? A prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant.
Indeed it is. That's worrying. There must be something about that photo though. Uh-oh, that is unmistakably Lana Sky. Let's look closer to it in a check fashion. We'll bring it up on two screens because I already had it up on one. So let's bring it up on both because that makes sense. What? Anyway, one's clearer, one doesn't have text. Is there anything out of place here? Well, why she got the whole draped coat look? I guess maybe then to keep blood off her if she was murdering someone, she could discard the coat rather than get the rest of her mucky. I don't know. I don't know for the moment. Let's see more testimony. And keep looking at that photo, I guess. So what was the defendant doing at the time? The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all.
Yes, that's about right.
Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set.
You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person.
Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor.
So the defendant was holding a knife. What then?
Key point. Then she thrust the pointed tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
So you saw it all. I'm going to press this one as well, even though it's the last statement. Hopefully I can present here. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime.
You did see her raise the knife to strike, no?
The defense has a point.
Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes. The next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. How did the coat not fly off? It looks like the coat's in on one arm there. Well, that's a bit weird. I see inconsistencies between that and the photo. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. I think there's a flaw. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that. I think I've got it, though. Right, so we'll move forward to the statement about the knife in the hands. Because both of those arms are outside of the coat there. Neither are in the coat. The picture of the scene, even though it is a postulation picture, I guess, from her brain. I don't just notice she had onigiri on her hat. A postulation picture from her brain. She's not holding a knife there and a coat isn't in. I see like things different were in the actual photo and the scenario having played out. Though that being said, she isn't currently in the act of murdering someone in that photo. She could have discarded the knife. Though to be honest, you'd probably want to discard the knife in a better location than that. Wouldn't you? Objection!
Objection!
And you witnessed this? And you saw Miss Skye stab the victim with a knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch.
I'm sure that is a fine lunch.
But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Skye not holding a knife?
Ahem. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection.
That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth? Why are you insulting him? I thought you were friends.
This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing, which is kind of what I concluded, to be honest.
Objection!
And how can you tell that? Blood splatter. Indeed. Obvious. Huh? See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat? But it's a black and white photograph.
Yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood.
Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. She was changing the oil on the car. No problem, except you.
Indeed.
Mr. Wright, you gonna just sit there and take that kind of abuse? You got a better idea. Right, obviously we have to object, I guess. Will I get a strike if I do? I think that's fine, if you know what I mean. This is a weird thing. I mean, this is true. Everything they said is kind of true here. What happened to the knife, though? That's what I'm wondering. Oh, I'm going to put no problem. Now that you mention it, I see no problem here. Other than myself. Mr. Wright, you can't just let him walk all over you. That's just sad. Feeling sad, Mr. Wright? Perhaps a bittersweet first love lunchbox is in order.
Well, that was a waste of time. Let's continue with the testimony.
Perhaps I should have dug a little deeper. Oh, so I actually had to go deeper? So I had to go further than that? To be honest, I thought there was no problem with that, but to be honest, it looks like objecting and going further is actually what I need to do. So as we skip forward, you've already said yes, we already did that, that's odd, look at the photograph, yeah, okay, etc, etc. We know that it's not, it's an objection. We're all good with that. But we need to object, obviously, to keep going. I'm fine with the blood splatter, I think that's true. It's a black and white photograph, sure, but still the knife is the thing missing here. Right, so we got a better idea. We're going to object and see where it leads. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony, does it? Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Is that the small bit we're getting onto here? Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's the bit of the testimony I didn't notice? Well, sorry, sometimes people make mistakes. But I didn't get a strike, so I'm in luck. But what's going on? That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Skye was cold calculating, like a robot. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder.
Objection!
Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph.
Well, are those gloves?
Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Wah!
These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation.
Premeditated murder. A serious offense.
Witness, add this to your testimony.
The murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. Let's press that statement, see where we can get. But I think we already know something that brings that away from that. What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves? Like driving gloves?
Objection!
The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime.
Ah! Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr.
This is bad. She's got them all thinking this was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated. I've got it. I got it. As long as that thing is in the state testimony still. That's cool. I've got this one. I have to redeem myself, after all. Is it in the testimony now?
Hold it!
No, no, no! Press! Nah, it's going to rubbish. It's going to rubbish. No, no, no. We got this. I got it. I know. 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 Come on, guys. We can go faster than that. We can do this. I want to present, not press. Right, so. Present this. Usually in Edgeworth's toolbox. She'd have had to get it out and all that kind of thing from the car. She'd have had to, like, do stuff before she murdered the guy. It's a bit weird. I don't think it's premeditated if you have to kind of, like, get all the stuff together there and then as well. Obviously, the certain element, the murder weapon itself, was available there, but how she know? I don't know. Maybe that will get us further, to be honest. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell boxed lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? A bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there. The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mummy, are prosecutors bad people? The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, Rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves.
Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However,
why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon? Indeed. Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon.
Order! 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 Someone pick up that food.
Great, now the tide is turning in our favour. Great show, Mr. Wright. I don't think it's such a great show so far because I've been messing up just in my pressing of buttons. My sister's as good as free. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. Well, that is the only thing the prosecution need prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been wearing...
I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought.
How dare you! My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now. And so Angel's deduction brings forth more to the story. But as we start the music up and the first statement, we continue on with a new testimony. Next episode, guys. Hopefully redeeming myself for my weird button pressings and my kind of going, what am I doing? Do I object? Do I not? Kind of agree, kind of don't. Because to be honest, anything we've done so far, basically the first day of trial is all about providing doubt. And all that we've really been able to do is just pick on pieces that are kind of can be proven kind of not that important or not that relevant. It's not really going further at the moment. We're waiting for that killer moment. All that we're really doing is just trying to prolong things until we can prove that doubt or make that doubt happen. So join me next time for Phoenix Wright as we look to do that and get more into the case. Bye-bye.